Hi, I'm Chef Gail Sokol and welcome to my kitchen. Today you're in for a treat. We're making Torrone or nougat candy. And it's sort of like an Italian meringue that has added honey and it's got nuts and nuts and nuts added to it, and it's spectacular, and it's sort of gooey and fluffy and a bunch of different textures all in one. And Sullivan's Papa asked me to make it, so this is for you, Sullivan's Papa. I hope you enjoy. And if any of you have a recipe that you'd like me to try out or make on a video, give me a shout out and I'll see what I can do. All right, so the first thing you need to do to make this beautiful candy is to get a sheet pan. This is about 15.5 by 10 inches, so 15.5 inches long, 10 inches wide, or any sheet pan that you have with sides. And then you're going to spray it first with nonstick cooking spray. You're going to put some parchment paper in it and spray it again and set it aside, because candy waits for no man. You want to make sure it's ready to go. I have an electric mixer here with 2 large egg whites that have come to room temperature, and I'm putting them in the ready situation, ready to go. Here over my saucepan, in my saucepan, I have 2.5 cups of granulated sugar. I have 3/4 of a cup of light corn syrup plus 2 tablespoons, and I'm going to be adding 1/2 cup plus a tablespoon of water, and I'm going to pour it around. Turn this on, and it's going to go to 330 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a hard crack stage. That's what that's known as in candy making. So we have a lot of different sugars going on. We have our granulated sugar. We have our light corn syrup, which is dextrose. And the reason why we have different types of sugar is that there won't be any grittiness and there won't be any crystallization. So I'm just stirring this up, and then I'm actually going to let it go because it's got a while to get to 330. And yes, I do have my candy thermometer, which I will put into it. Now you will see some sugar being brushed up against the sides, and that's okay because I have a cup of water and a pastry brush, and I'm going to be wiping down those sides, and then I'm going to stop stirring. So I really just want to get my sugar dissolved, and then I'm going to go on high heat and put my candy thermometer in. Now, while this is crazy enough, right? Now I have on my other stove behind me, I actually have 3/4 of a cup, 1 3/4 of a cup of honey heating to a simmer on the stove. So we got a lot of different sugars. Remember, honey is fructose. That's over there. I have basically glucose in here, or dextrose, which is the light corn syrup, and granulated sugar, which is a disaccharide. It's a combination. So all these sugars together will prevent grittiness and crystallization in our candy. So I'm going to up the heat. All right, I'm putting my candy thermometer in, and we're ready to go to 330. In the meantime, I'm going to get my egg whites beaten up to a hard, basically I want them really, really fluffy without getting too over beaten. So they will be very, very beaten until they're basically very, very fluffy, but not too dry. In this bowl, ready to go, toasted, and I'm going to get this right, I have 2 cups of salted almonds, and these are not blanched almonds. They have the skin on because I think it's a lot prettier in the candy. I have 1 cup of pistachios. That's typical for a Torrone or a nougat, but I'm also adding 2/3 cup of hazelnuts. Just my little take on it. And I've toasted these in an oven that was about 350 degrees for about 10 minutes on a sheet pan. And these are ready to go. All right. So what I'm doing now is sort of being an octopus and watching. I have my honey on a simmer. I'm going to start my egg whites, and you want your whip attachment. And I want to get firm peaks for my egg whites. So before I start them, I want to make sure that my honey's almost ready to go, and this is starting to come to a boil. And you can see that it actually is. You never want to walk away. This is basically a caramel. You're basically making caramel, this hot sugar syrup. And if you remember, an Italian meringue is egg whites beaten and then a hot sugar syrup added to them while you're beating them. And that makes this meringue the most stable. And that's why it can be made into a candy. So first thing we're going to add is our hot honey into our fluffy egg whites. And then when this gets to 320 and it's already starting to boil and climb in temperature, then we're going to add that. And then things are going to sort of get interesting because Chef Gail's going to have to get all these nuts incorporated, and then we're going to put this mixture into our sheet pan and push it down and let it sit. So I'm going to keep watching all my pots and be an octopus, and I'll see you back in a little bit. All right, we're back. I feel like I'm juggling. I have my beautiful honey. It has come to a simmer, and now I'm going to add it slowly to my beaten egg whites. My beaten egg whites are almost at a firm peak, and I'm going to put it at high speed and slowly pour it in. You can see here my beautiful sugar syrup is at going into the hard crack stage almost. We're going to let that go. So here I go, slow and steady down the sides of the pan, not directly on the beater because you're going to get the honey stuck on the beater. Okay, we're going to get this going. We're going to keep it beating. Keep it beating. Slow and steady. Go slow and steady, folks. Wins the race. Slow and steady. And you'll see your egg whites expand. They look lovely. I can smell my hot honey. Beautiful. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Now, honey is a hygroscopic sugar. That means it's going to attract moisture and keep our candy moist. So it's not going to be rock hard. All right, now I'm going to pour the rest of it in. Pour the rest of it in. I'm not scraping down the sides in case there's any crystals. I'm going to bring it right over to my sink. And I'm going to keep it going. You can see what's happening here. I'm going to take a peek. And you can see we're getting some color on here. We're at 320. We should be at 330. I feel like I'm in a horse race. This is very exciting. So we're going to keep that going. These have expanded, and you want to keep them moving. So I'm at high speed. We're almost ready here. You can see it's getting sort of like brewed tea. We are there. We are there. So I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to put that into my cold. And we're going to slowly add this on high speed down the side of the pan, slow and steady. Watch. Hot sugar syrup. Woo! This is so exciting. So exciting. Slow and steady. Oh, it's expanding. It's fluff. It's like a giant Italian meringue with 3 different sugars. We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going. Keep going. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to stop our mixer, get this into the sink. Okay, you can see it's expanded. We're going to stop our mixer, and I'm going to get our nuts in there. All right, so this is the part that gets a little exciting. All right, so everything is super hot. I mean like super hot. So I'm actually going to use this to get this off. Give me a second to get this off of here. We are getting it off. Woo! So exciting. I'm going to move this right in here. All right. Now, we have to get all these nuts in here. Okay, and this is a very hot thing. So I'm moving a little bit around. All right, I'm getting everything ready because we don't want this to set, and then we got to get our nuts. Oh, it's luscious. It's luscious, and it's also very, very hot. All right. So you can use your mixer attachment, your paddle. I don't want to do that because I'm afraid that it will literally sort of make bump, 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 bump noises, and it won't get all those nuts in. I'd rather do it by hand. And we're going to just get all these nuts in. And Torrone is nice and sort of like an off-white. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's hot and beautiful. It's gorgeous. This is like a miracle. This is so gorgeous. Oh, it's fluffy. Look at that. It's like Italian meringue on steroids. Look at that. And it's got so many nuts in there. And I love the addition of the hazelnuts. So I hope you try it. And now I'm going to get my sheet pan ready. All right. And this does need overnight to set. See, I thought I'd need my paddle, and you want to get everything ready to go in case you need it. I'm going to get and I'm just going to pour it in right in my pan. Remember, it's been greased. It's on parchment paper that's been greased too. And I'm just going to get it all in there. Everything in there as best I can. And now we have to actually get everything moved over, all right? This is where it gets a little tricky. So I have a sprayed spatula with nonstick cooking spray, all right? Here it is. And I'm going to push everything off of here because I don't want to waste those gorgeous nuts, all right? And then I'm just going to push and get it all evenly pushed down gently into this beautiful sheet pan. And you're going to leave it. This makes a fabulous candy gift because once it hardens, you're going to cut it into little squares. All right. Oh my goodness, what a treat. And this, you want to keep this at room temperature. You do not want to lick this, even though it's tempting, because it's hot and you'll burn your mouth. So I'm going to leave this here and I'm going to let it set up, and I'll see you back here when it's just perfect to try. So my Torrone has been sitting out all night long uncovered. It got nice and firm, but yet a little soft, like al dente. And I took it out of the pan. I have oiled some paper towel, and I'm going to oil my knife, and we're going to slice it. Now this makes a lot. It makes probably between 80 to 100 pieces. And you're going to cut, first I cut it in half crosswise, and then I took a nice sharp knife. Some people say to take a serrated knife. I like a nice sharp knife. It actually cuts through it better. It is going to be a little sticky. Oh, it smells so good. And I just want to show you what it looks like. It's gorgeous. And then you cut it, or you could just eat it like that. But you can cut it in little squares like this. And I actually like to sugar it because it makes it that much easier to give away as a gift or put on a candy dish. And believe it or not, you might think it's super, super sticky like taffy. It's not. It really is not that sticky at all. And the nuts and the slight fragrance of the honey. It is, the only one word I can say is it's divine. It's spectacular. I hope you try this Torrone. I hope you give it to your family and friends. Give it as a gift. Put it on a table for like little wedding favors. What a great idea. And it makes tons at a time. It is spectacular. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you become a subscriber. Till next time.